Beautiful stuff. So let's hit the road again and travel. Grit and grandeur coexist seamlessly in Marseille, an exuberantly multicultural port city with a pedigree stretching back to classical Greece and a fair claim, I think, to the second mantle of France's, or the mantle of France's second city. Marseille is the next city we are going to be exploring on our trip, and this is after Milan. Tino, what makes Marseille so special? Obviously, the history stands out, but there is a fair bit of baggage, yes, but a lot to see. This is a really interesting city.
Yeah, and history also says that it's one of Europe's cities with the biggest maritime influence. So you're literally sailing on the ocean, and now you're visiting Europe's most maritime city as well. It's gorgeous, and it's got such a North African influence as well, which I always find very interesting. It brings in such a different balance as the normal France culture vibe that you see. You see so much more. But at the pinnacle of this city is Notre Dame de la Garde. It's perched high up on a hill. It's a massive cathedral with a 37-foot gold statue of Madonna holding her child. And it's not Madonna, the singer, Mary, of course. This church is so famous that it hosts over 1.5 million visitors per year.
Wow.
And then once you've done that, you head down to the port. You go down Rue de la Carabinière, that I practice all week to say.
Well done, thank you for that.
And this takes you from the port all the way into the old city, which is phenomenal to see. But this city has a huge bohemian influence on European culture as well, with murals and weird little restaurants and live music and very interesting people. So I do suggest you go to Cours Julien. That is that quarter of the city.
No, I love that. And like you said, this has got like a bit of grit, but it's also got the grandeur. It's the perfect balance. I mean, the landscape itself looks absolutely beautiful, but a great maritime experience to enhance your maritime kind of journey, which I think...
To start off your journey,
it adds another layer to it. You've gone on about how much you love Barcelona, so I'm expecting that that's going to be a massive tick for you. So we move on to then Barcelona and Lisbon, two massively popular cities that you really do want on a European checklist.
Yes, now we start off on the portion that we call the Iberian Peninsula. Now that is the portion starting from the south of Spain, going through the Straits of Gibraltar, up around Portugal, and then covering Spain again at the top. First up will be the explosive city of Barcelona, and yes, it is my favorite one because it has everything. It's got your beaches, it's got your shopping, it's got your culture, it's got your food, it's got your sangria that you need to have.
It's a party.
But then from a cultural perspective, it's also the city of Antoni Gaudi, and he was that flamboyant, very expressive architect. And you can see his influence all over this city. And if there's one place you visit, it's La Sagrada Familia. And this is a cathedral that is still under construction today, even after almost a century of him having passed already. So
I was going to say, because there's just no one who stands up to Gaudi to be able to complete the work. But I think it's very rare to see that much influence spread across an entire city.
That is still alive today.
Is magical. Sounds like an absolute treat. What treats await us in Lisbon? Because you've got two very different cultures so close together.
Yes, now we've got Portugal, and it's not often that you get onto a cruise that actually goes via Lisbon or Lisboa, like the Portuguese would say.
As Paula would say.
Paula, so she would also say bom dia, so we can't say good day when we get to Portugal. Yes, we get into Lisbon, and because it's a once-off exclusively to Expresso viewers today, if they book today, we are including a 3.5-hour sightseeing tour in Lisbon.
Nice.
And you will see all the massive, important sites. We will start high up on a hill at the São Jorge Castle, where you will get your first panoramic view of the city and also the Tagus River as it literally empties into the Atlantic. We then take you down towards the river to the Tower of Belém. Now, this used to be a ceremonial gateway into the river during the 1700s when Portugal was at its height of its strength. But then after all that information and picture taking and being a tourist, you want to just kick back and enjoy some local food and culture and music. We then go to the Time Out Market. We've got leisure time to yourself. So literally just make sure that you don't miss anything while you're in Lisbon.
And it's worth doing one of these guided tours when you're in a city like that.
You have to.
There is so much ground to cover. So have someone there to help you kind of really take on those tidbits. So for months afterwards, when you're telling your anecdotal stories about your travels, you can pass it off as your own.
You can't go back there tomorrow, so you better better do what you need to do when you're there.
Well, in fact, this is a repositioning trip, so the chances of you being able to do this selection, this kind of itinerary, very, very slim, and certainly not for this price. Starting from a sensational price of just 27,999 Rand, including flights and taxes, you could be sightseeing some of the best ancient and modern architecture Europe has to offer. Tino is back in just a moment with more on what we can experience on our incredible trip and ship as well. So we'll see you in a moment.